guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm very sorry for not recording. Today we're going to be checking out what if Germany allied with Russia instead of Austria in World War One. Well, this also has to go back all the way to the Triple Alliance. Also, thank you Possible History for the idea. Please, thank you. Go check out his channel. It's really nice. But what if instead of Austria, what if instead of Russia, we had Austria in World War One? Now, first off, I'm gonna live stream later. So, to be honest, it's really confusing on how this is gonna go down because obviously it's gonna start like this. This is how it's gonna start. But there's going to be a lot of things that play into just why Russia is just such a good ally that Austria is. Because first off, now here's one reason. First off, the British did block, if you guys know your World War I history, Britain blockaded Germany and made it really, really sad for it to get food. But now, Ukraine has a bunch of wheat, and I think everyone knows about the Ukrainian wheat. So now, Russia can just trade Ukrainian wheat to Germany, keeping its fighting force alive. Now, what would happen to Austria? Now, first off, it would get absolutely comboed, and I really don't think it would be able to come out from this. I mean, it would be, at this point, like, Austria would not last a long time in World War One if this was just all powers talking about it. I definitely think with this, Italy would definitely join the Central Powers. Romania would join the Central Powers. Montenegro would join the Central Powers. But Bulgaria is a very different story, and we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait on that because Bulgaria is a very weird one. So Austria at this point is getting attacked from all sides. I mean, it's getting attacked by Serbia, by Italy, by Germany, by Russia. And at this point, they've already lost all coastal things. Remember, this is a stalemate. And at this point, Germany's just focusing all it has on Austria right now. They want to get Austria out of the picture. And I genuinely don't think that Austria would last a while, just because. Now, how does the Schlieffen plan go? Because Austria's out of the picture. They're dead. But what would this guy do? Well, it's really weird. Now, the Ottomans would most likely join the Allies. And I have a really good statement on why this would happen. Now, first off, we all know that the Ottomans joined World War One to get back at Russia. I think they would join here. And also, we're also going to pay attention to North African fighting. And honestly, I think the same would kind of happen here. Now, Germany did get its colonies, like, kind of just invaded in World War One. And I think that would still happen here, like, to Italy. And that would just happen because it didn't matter how much they tried. Italy would not be able to get its troops, would not be able to like really compare to Britain and France. Maybe if they like won the mainland war, then maybe they would be able to. But for now, North Africa is settled with. Oh yeah, the Ottomans will launch a small campaign, but eventually will get pushed back. And I feel like this is where Bulgaria could join the war on the Central Powers. But I'm just not so sure because Bulgaria did have claims on Thrace. They wanted Thrace, and I think that's as far as they would get. Now the Ottomans had one job in World War One, was that to take up as much Allied troops as possible, while the Germans just wore out other people. Because honestly, the Ottomans were just seen as like land for Europeans. And I do not think Russia got that much land. Hold up. In realism, they got to like here. But here's where we have to figure out what's going to happen to the political system in Russia. Because we're not going to talk about that yet. But we're going to talk about how the sleeper plan goes. Now, Well, now first off, the Sleaford plan was this: to invade Belgium, get to Paris, win the war, blah blah blah. The thing is that the British would have joined the war either way. There's no point. It doesn't matter. Belgium joined either way. Blah blah blah. Now the Germans did actually get really close to Paris, and honestly, they could have won here. But then they moved some things to here. Blah blah blah. But we're gonna see. What if Russian troops were just on the front lines? What if Italian troops were on the front line? Honestly, the Italian French front's not gonna have that much movement. I mean, maybe the Italians can do this. Remember, this is World War I tech. I mean, yes, probably Corsica's gonna get taken, and maybe a small landing in Tunisia. But that's as much that's gonna happen. I mean, maybe this, but like, there's not gonna be a lot of that's happening. But let's say that there's just a bunch of Russian troops on the front line. What are they going to do? Well, first off, they're going to get overwhelmed. I mean, that's what Russia does. It just sends troops until it overwhelms, then it pushes back. Well, look at this. If Germany isn't starving because they're getting put, because there's a Ukrainian wheat that are coming from Russia, they're going to be able to wear the French down. It doesn't matter if they don't make it to Paris or not. They're going to be able to wear the French down in food. And also, the Germans don't have to really go to U-boat warfare because of the Russian supply of food. So the U.S. probably won't save France in the U.K. in this war. And eventually, France is going to starve. The U.K. is going to starve. But over here, especially if this happens, the Russians can get food to Germany. The Russians can get food they can easily get food to here. They can easily get food to here. And Russia, with Ukrainian wheat, and wheat over here, wheat over here, wheat over here, wheat over here, wheat over here. Just food in general, because they have the Great European Plain. Ukrainian wheat. That's a lot. So they could just send it around. They send it around. And Russia was not really, I mean... And also, Germany probably won't send Lenin back. If anything, they're really going to supply Russia with as much as possible, just because of that Ukrainian wheat. But other than that, I don't really know. I mean, to be honest, the Central Powers win if Italy joins their side. The Allied Powers win if Italy joins their side, because it's just an extra front to deal with. But let's say that France... But let's say that France starves. Alright, this is just two possible scenarios. France starves, Germany gets a breakthrough, Italy gets a breakthrough. At this point, France surrenders. Let's just say that. Let's just say France fully surrenders. Well, first off, Italy's going to immediately invade into Libya. And also, this is a no-cut video because there's really no cuts to be done. I mean, this is just like a what-if scenario. And then, at this point, it would kind of just, like, be the British fighting, and then the British would kind of... At this point, the British would probably also starve. Not really, because of their colonies. They would probably starve the Irish to bring food to the mainland. But other than that, they're eventually going to starve. And when that happens, I mean, once France is pretty much out of the picture, the Ottomans are going to eventually collapse. The Ottomans were like really going to collapse. Cyprus is probably going to get invaded. Maybe Kuwait's going to get invaded. Egypt from this side is going to get invaded. And it's just a what if. Remember, this is not realistic at all. This video is not realistic. But you can bash in the comments. I don't care. I'm probably not even going to reply to them anyways. Because, oh yeah, also, I do look at your comments. Like, once in a while, I'll just look at comments to see, oh, did someone comment on my video? Did it come to... yeah. But, alright, then, and then Egypt would fall, and then blah, 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 and let's say they get past here, which is not going to happen. But that's just a what if scenario, and then if that's the case. Alright, let's say that Russian Civil War happens, and at this point, the Russian Civil War is breaking out, and now there's a massive uprising in Russia. Well, first off, Germany would never let that happen. In fact, they would probably, if Russia... The thing is, if Russia really collapses, the Germans are immediately going to make their allies push into Russia at full force, as Russia was on their side, and they need a government. So they're basically going to liberate the stuff that they need, like Ukraine for Ukrainian wheat, and they're just going to get as much as they need, while the Soviets are running rampant. So let's say that's as much as they get. But guess what? Guess what sucks? Now they have to be moving stuff away. But at this point, still France is going to starve, because guess what? Ukrainian wheat. Their people have been, So guess what? They make a breakthrough. The Italians are next to front. All right, so they're able to also break through. If the Germans can break through, they're gonna break through, because there's probably not gonna be a lot of French. The Italian front in Tunisia probably would speed up as well, as France is desperately sending troops up to mainland. Finally, a push from Alsace-Lorraine would be made. At this point, by now, and I forgot to say this earlier, but France is most of its coal industry, most of its industry is over here. So if Germany is able to take that out, then that's a really big blow to France. And at this point, France would kind of just start collapsing. And either way, if Russia was just on their side anyway, they would win. Just because of Italy would join their side, because Austria is not on the German side. The thing is that this all comes out back to... Alright, so this all comes back to an alliance that was between these three. It broke apart, and Germany had to decide who to ally with. The Russians or the Austrians. They definitely didn't want to ally with France because they hated them. They genuinely hated them with a passion. And the British just didn't like their navy. So they had to either ally with this guy or this guy. Who were they going to ally with? In our timeline, they allied with these guys. But that proved to be a total failure in World War I. So they decide. So in this timeline, they ally with Russia, and Russia is able to supply them with wheat, help them invade the Austrians, get the Austrians out of the way, and help basically just take out this. And honestly, we could kind of just say that the Russians win. At this point, the Russians would easily have won. It wasn't an option between if they won or not. Okay. Well, that's for today's video. I don't know. Bye-bye. Bye.